Age quitting, and we can enjoy the game and compete at seamless speed. Yeah, we love it.
Just from a player's perspective, I guess I can speak for everyone in the community. We connected to European service and we're getting 90, 100, 120 MS, and it's very frustrating. Now that we have South African service, we get anything between 9 to 30, which is beautiful. And yeah, we're so grateful to have this service, so thank you so much.
Oh, it's awesome. We have a lot of our Call of Duty mobile fans in Nigeria who are also saying, where's our server? Turns out the continent's pretty big. For Nasty C, you said you make music and you're going full-time into gaming. Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, the intersection of music and gaming and why you're pursuing gaming in this like next phase?
Yeah, I think every person that's into gaming is to some degree into music also, right? Whether you enjoy just making it, whether you enjoy experiencing it at places like this, at festivals and stuff like that. I think the two just kind of go hand in hand, man, in my opinion, you know? And my first love was music, and this is my second love, but for some reason I just can't find, I could never separate those two. Whenever I'm playing music in the studio, listening to beats, writing, I'm on the sticks, I'm playing games, you know? And whenever I'm streaming, even when like in between games and stuff like that, I'm playing music. So it's hard for me to separate those two. I feel like there's no need to in any case, you know? It just makes perfect sense to me.
Just to add to that, I have to agree. It's like when you want to turn up in a game, right? You hit the playlist and you get ready and you jump in and you're like, yeah, this is my playlist. I'm going to take down everybody in this lobby. So music and gaming is so synonymous, so connected. And it's just about like how do we take that forward and actually make a movement with it, which is really powerful.
Awesome. Tiano, you've been in the competitive scene for a long time. You guys said you went way back. What has it looked like in South Africa, and where do you see it going?
I started off, funny enough, with FIFA on console, so this is totally different, you know, kicking a ball, and obviously this is Call of Duty. Then I moved on to Call of Duty on console, played for PlayStation with Nick about 8 years to be exact, and then Call of Duty came out in 2019 of October. They hosted the very first 2v2 tournaments, and I haven't been able to put my phone down for the last 3 years. Obviously, you know, grassroots level, but where we are now, we're so grateful, and I cannot wait to see it grow and develop, and yeah, like Nick mentioned, you know, put South Africa and Africa on that international level. I'm looking forward to it very much.
Nick, where do you see it going?
I think this is a great trajectory that we're on at the moment, but we still have to hit the wide accessibility of gaming across the board. I think there's so many audiences that don't even know this exists, right? They don't even know that there's opportunity like this. They don't even know that you can get job creation inside of the space as well. Inside of gaming, which is a huge opportunity, but I think it's just a huge case of empowerment, right? Is that you can take this passion that you love and take it even further. So I see us on an upwards trajectory. The more that we get this out, the more that we get the word out that this is real, this is happening, and that there's opportunities, I don't see the space ever getting smaller. I really don't.
That's actually a perfect segue to my next question for Nasty C. Tell us about Ivyson and your vision for that and what you hope to accomplish.
Man, I have ridiculous goals with Ivyson Gaming. Even though like we're fresh in the scene, you know, we're looking up to guys like my guy over here, and we're hoping that one day we can facilitate stuff like this, you know, tournaments, building a gaming center back at home. The house I actually grew up in, I'm turning that into a gaming center so that even kids who don't have consoles or a good Wi-Fi connection can still come there and just, you know, geek out their minds and just have fun, you know. But yeah, we have a lot of goals, man, a lot of goals.
I love that. I will share a story. I was in Chicago last month for a League of Legends championship, massive PC game. They sold out United Center, you know, where Chicago Bulls play, for 2 days on a weekend in September, right? And I think about everyone who's working in that, from the people who are competing, to the league owners, to the team managers, to the coaches, to the hot dog stand person, right? To the person who's selling tickets. And I'm like, this is just the start of the gaming industry, right? Let's do events like this. Let's do events 10 times the size of this. Let's do this every weekend. And I am super excited to see, you know, how we all partner to make that happen, because this is a pioneering group right here. Take a picture. You were here. I'll keep going. Anyway, So there's a little bit of a stigma. We have a few console players here. There's a little bit of a stigma around mobile gaming as being sort of lower quality, not as developed as console or PC gaming. But seeing that sort of 97% of gamers in Africa are mobile, what do you think is sort of the opportunity on mobile? What do you hope to see from developers as they're looking to support mobile players?
Cool, I'll jump in there as well. I think from a mobile side, Africa is mobile in a lot of ways. And I think we need to worry less about the stigma of what PC players might think or what console players might think about. We have a community that is bigger than actually everybody else combined when it comes down to mobile, and it's your first point of access, right? I mean, if you're playing on a mobile phone, you might go, cool, I want to upgrade my experience into a lounge and play on console. I might want to be able to take it seriously, go onto PC. I think we've got such an opportunity on this continent where we've also, from a statistical standpoint, have more mobile devices than we do have citizens in our country, which is really, really exciting. So if we want larger audiences, if we want larger participation base, mobile's where it's at. So don't worry about the rest. They'll be looking at us with envious eyes in due time.
100%. Anybody else want to tackle that one?
I just know we're going to change their minds with experiences like this, you know, because if you were here and you saw what happened and you experienced this whole thing, there's no way you go away thinking the same thing, right? This totally debunks that whole stigma. So, yeah, the more we do this, the more we'll change their minds and they'll come to a realization of like, oh shit.
Yeah, it is insane. I have to say, I was sitting there and I was like, I cannot believe what we're watching now is just existing on a screen the size of this, right? For most players. I saw a few of you with the tablets. Let's see that. My hands aren't big enough, but but it is super impressive to see just like the technology and how it's improving, and I think that's going to be massive for gaming in the region. Cool. Last question. What advice would you give to somebody who's interested in getting into the gaming industry right now?
As a player, or
Just loves gaming. How can I make a buck in gaming?
Okay. Well, I'll come from a player's perspective again. Obviously, the school kids, they've got a lot more time. Make sure you do your homework first. But other than that, you know, if you're passionate about it, like my guys next to me were mentioning, it runs through your blood. You know, you get so excited, you cannot wait to play the next game. Some guys stay up, you know, the whole night to even play a game. So, for me personally, you know, being 30 years old and all the commitments and I have, just never give up. Never give up and yeah, enjoy your craft and, you know, let your passion shine through, obviously, in the game that you enjoy the most.
Love that.
Yeah, I think further from that as well, it's like there's so many more opportunities that are being created quite regularly inside of the gaming space. So whether you are playing on your phone and you maybe like to make some content, maybe you like to even, maybe you like to rap about what's happening inside of the game, you can make content about that and people might watch that kind of stuff. You can make content about just talking. I mean, TikTok's a huge platform, stories in terms of YouTube is a huge platform. So content creation is a great way as a self-starter. If you want to be a player, you need to play tournaments. That's ultimately where you need to be at, and you can connect to multiple tournaments across the board. And if you're in high school or university, there's more and more opportunities for you actually to be able to play as a high school student in an esports team. There's things that are being connected to that as well. So from a Carry First, from an ACGL perspective, join in, check it out. There's more opportunities than you might think. And there's opportunities like my man Scurra that killed it on the mic. Can we all make some noise for Scurra? It's like he's commentating over games. That was his job today, guys. That was his job. He's working right now. You know what I mean? It's like there's so many opportunities. There's being able to do productions. You can write about it. You can sing about it. Do what you need to. There's so many opportunities.